Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Yeah, really looking forward to getting into this one today.
Because today we're unpacking a story that really sits right at the intersection of elite sports strategy and, well, brutal corporate management.
Absolutely brutal.
It's a fascinating case study on how a national icon can just be dismantled overnight. And we'll also look at the human side of these rugby legends, the incredible resilience required to bounce back.
It really is the perfect storm. You've got the boardroom politics of New Zealand rugby colliding with the raw emotion of one of the game's most charismatic figures.
Right.
And usually, when we discuss coaching changes, we're looking at win percentages and tactical shifts. But today is really about the human element, the communication, or the complete lack of it.
We are, of course, talking about the shock departure of All Blacks head coach Scott "Razor" Robertson. Now, if you follow the game, you know the headline. He's out.
Yeah, the whole rugby world knows that part.
But the sources we are relying on today, specifically some exclusive insights from Planet Rugby and incredibly candid comments from the legendary scrum half Justin Marshall on the Good, the Bad, and the Rugby podcast, they point to a much deeper story.
They really do. Coaching changes happen all the time. But the manner in which this one unfolded, that's the real story today.
And before we map out this bizarre timeline, I need to ask you a quick favor. Please make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession right now. Just hit that button so you never miss out on the best insights in the game.
It's the best way to make sure you get the full context behind these massive headlines.
Exactly. So here is the roadmap for this deep dive. We'll look at the bizarre timeline of the firings, then we'll get into the emotional impact this had on Robertson, and finally we'll talk about the exciting news regarding his immediate return to the coaching box.
That return is almost as shocking as the exit, honestly.
Let's start with the facts of how it happened. Just set the scene for us on the contract situation.
Right, so structurally this is massive. Scott Robertson was dismissed just 2 years into a 4-year contract.
Which is practically unheard of.
Exactly. In international rugby, you build around a 4-year World Cup cycle. To cut that cord at the halfway mark, following a review of the 2025 Test season led by New Zealand Rugby chairman David Kirk, it's just a massive vote of no confidence.
But the mid-cycle firing isn't even the most controversial part. Justin Marshall made a very blunt claim about the communication. What did he reveal?
This is the part that's just uncomfortable. Marshall revealed that Robertson received absolutely no forewarning from NZR. None at all.
Wait, so...
No heads up, no private meeting to say things weren't working, nothing.
Wait, so he found out via the news?
According to Marshall, yes. And remember, Marshall is an insider. Robertson found out he was being axed at the exact same time as the rest of the world.
That is just wild.
He was literally learning about it while the story was actively unfolding in the media on what Marshall called a really bizarre day. The decision was taken completely out of Robertson's control.
How does that even happen? We are talking about the pinnacle job in the sport. The head coach of the All Blacks finding out he's unemployed from a news alert.
It's jarring. You might expect that in a ruthless corporate takeover, but in a high-performance environment that constantly preaches culture and connection, it strips away all the dignity of the process.
And we have to highlight why Justin Marshall's account carries so much weight here. He's not just a random pundit making guesses.
No, not at all. You have to remember their relationship. Marshall and Robertson are close friends, they're former teammates.
Right. Canterbury, the Crusaders, the All Blacks.
Exactly. They have this profound shared history. So when Marshall talks about this, he's speaking as a mate who is watching his friend go through something awful.
He mentioned catching up with Razor about 10 days after the event.
Yeah, and the word he used to describe that meeting was difficult.
Difficult.
Ah.
Which is heavy, especially for a guy known for breakdancing after titles and bringing this boundless positive energy.
It paints a very different picture. Marshall said Robertson is a guy who wears his heart on his sleeve. Coaching the All Blacks was his biggest passion. It wasn't just a job for him.
It was a vocation.
Completely. And it's not just a private job loss. Because it's the All Blacks, this is a public dismantling of a dream that plays out globally. Marshall pointed out the massive toll that takes on a family, his wife, his kids.
Especially when the ultimate goal was so clear.
Right. He had incredibly high aspirations to deliver a World Cup.
Yeah.
To have that cut short without even a conversation first, it's just devastating.
It really is a brutal reminder of the ruthless nature of elite sports.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Now, before we pivot to the future, because there is actually a very positive twist to this story, I want to take a quick pause. If you are enjoying this breakdown of the sources and getting the story behind the headlines, hit subscribe on Rugby Obsession to never miss a future update.
You really won't want to miss what we've got coming up as the season develops.
All right, let's shift the energy here. Because despite this brutal public exit, Razor is back.
And he didn't waste any time.
No, he didn't. The news is that Robertson will return to coaching in June of 2026. He's been appointed to lead the Barbarians.
Which is just fantastic news for rugby fans.
It really is. And for those listening who might not follow the exhibition side of the sport as closely, why is the Barbarians gig such a perfect fit for him right now?
Well, it's a testament to his resilience, first of all. But the Barbarians' role is prestigious, and honestly, it's just fun. They are an invitational side. No massive board of directors, no four-year reviews.
Like pure rugby.
Exactly. It's perfectly suited for coaches who love expansive attacking rugby, which is Razor's signature style. It's a great way for him to stay in the game immediately and reconnect with the joy of it.
And the fixture list they mentioned in the source material is no joke.
Oh, it's massive. They're playing against the Springboks and Wales.
So he gets to coach against the reigning world champions almost immediately.
Right. And look at the venues. They'll be at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in Graberha and then Allianz Stadium at Twickenham. Those are massive stages.
It feels like a real statement from him. Like, you might not want me, but I'm still operating at the very top level of the game.
It's the ultimate rebound. The heartbreak Marshall described is real, but taking this job shows Robertson isn't just going to hide away. He's stepping right back into a top-tier role.
I love that. But while he is off having a blast with the Barbarians, there is a massive vacancy left in New Zealand.
Yeah, the machine has to keep moving.
So who steps into the void? The conversation is already turning to the candidates.
The sources are pointing to two main favorites to succeed him right now. Jamie Joseph and Dave Rennie.
Both are heavy hitters. Jamie Joseph with his success with Japan and the Highlanders, and Dave Rennie bringing all that international experience from his time with Australia.
They are brilliant tactical minds. But the pressure on whoever takes this job is going to be astronomical. The All Blacks don't have time to dwell on this transition.
Because the schedule is relentless.
It is. They have 3 Nations Championship matches coming up in July against absolute heavyweights. France, Italy, and Ireland.
France and Ireland, back to back.
Yeah.
That is a trial by fire for a new coach trying to unify a locker room that just lost their leader.
It's a daunting task. They have to jump straight in and figure out how to beat the best teams in the Northern Hemisphere within weeks.
Although the sources did offer a bit of optimism for the new coach. There was an article referencing Stephen Donald and a headline about New Zealand having a good problem to have.
Yeah, that was an interesting point, and noted that one particular position, and the squad generally, is in what they called rude health.
Meaning the talent pipeline is still incredibly strong.
Exactly. The boardroom might be in chaos, but the actual talent on the field is still world-class. The pressure is firmly on the new appointee, but they are inheriting a very capable squad.
So synthesizing all this, we've got a really complex picture today. We have a harsh, almost clinical dismissal, where a legendary coach learned of his firing alongside the general public.
A total failure of communication from the top down.
But on the flip side, we see the incredible resilience of a man who is immediately stepping back into a prestigious, high-tier role with the Barbarians.
It's a real roller coaster of a story.
It really is. And we want to hear what you think about all of this. Do you think this no-warning approach is just a common, acceptable part of high-performance sport? Or did they cross a line?
And also, how excited are you to see Robertson unleash his attacking style with the Barbarians? I know I can't wait.
Definitely let us know your thoughts. Before we wrap up, please make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession right now.
Thanks for having me on to break this down.
Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.